Let's talk about solving proportions. So if you have two fractions that are equal to each other, like x over 9 equals 2 over 3, you can solve this by cross-multiplying, multiplying diagonally. So x times 3 is 3x, and 9 times 2 is 18. So at this point, you're right here. You just need to solve this equation. So if we want x by itself, right now it's being multiplied by 3, so we divide both sides by 3. Because 3 divided by 3 is 1. So on the left side, we're just left with 1x. And 18 divided by 3 is 6. Now let's talk about setting up a proportion given a word problem. Here it says, Kelsey can read 4 sci-fi books in 10 hours. Assuming all of the books are the same length, how many hours would it take her to read 50 sci-fi books? So first, you need to identify the knowns and the unknowns. Look at the labels here. We have 4 sci-fi books, 10 hours. How many hours? 50 sci-fi books. Whenever you have 3 numbers and you're asked for the 4th number, more than likely you need to use a proportion. So after you identify the knowns and the unknowns, you plug the values into a proportion. Notice that I see that I am comparing books and hours. So I decided what's going to go in the top? Books. What's going to go in the bottom? Hours. It has to be the same for each fraction. Then, in creating your fractions, you're kind of taking one sentence at a time. 4 sci-fi books is 10 hours, so I made that my first fraction. How many hours is 50 sci-fi books? 50 books is x hours. You can use any letter for your variable. Once you have your proportion set up, then you solve it. Once you have your proportion set up, you can just remove the labels. We just care about the numbers here. And again, remember, you multiply diagonally. 4 times x is 4x, and 10 times 50 is 500. To get the x by itself, I want to undo that multiplying by 4, so I divide both sides by 4. Because 4 divided by 4 cancels out on the left side, so I'm just left with 1x, or x. And 500 divided by 4 is 125. And the way you come up with this label is to go back to that proportion and look at the labels you had for x. Remember, x was in the bottom of our fraction. And the bottom of our fractions had hours. So the answer is x equals 125 hours.